Welcome to AI Late to Class. Got a lot of things to go today with updates to Qwen and Flux Kontext. First one I'll be looking at is the inpainting here and what uses we could use that for. Another image here. So just wanting a prompt, put KFC on that t-shirt. That was the result from that. It even knew the type of font without me saying it or giving it an example of that. Then we're going to go on to the multi-image. So this one, upload the original and this clock here. And we want to combine those to a prompt that says, can we have the woman hugging the clock? From there, I'm going to look at the other control nets, such as depth and canny, and see what we can do with those. Then I'm going to go through my own sort of hack on how to get this Qwen pose working by uploading a smaller image within your image of a pose. Go through that. Finally, what I've been waiting for is Flux Kontext Pose. So this is going to be good. We can get in a photo of anybody and then use a pose and put them in that position, which is amazing. This is something that we need if we're doing any marketing, or we're going to use an image for a pose just to start off an image to video. So if we generated stuff by text to image and we didn't like the pose it came out with, we can now fix it up. So if you're still watching by now, that's good, right? In the Qwen inpainting workflow, if you haven't used Qwen before, I've got a video on that. The link will be in the comments. But anyway, I'm using the GGUF. I've used Q6 there of the Qwen model. Underneath I've got the clip for Qwen there and the VAE for Qwen up here. This is the new thing, right? The model patch loader. So you have to update ConfigUI, update all your nodes, because this thing ain't going to work. It's going to make a folder called model patch loader, model patches, and there's 3 of them there. There's one for the canny, one for the depth, and one for the inpaint. So this particular model, I'm just using the inpaint, and I've stored that in the new folder that it made. Also using the Qwen Lightning 8 steps. If you've used Qwen, you know what that is. And here I've just put a beach ball on the road. I've come up here and I've just right click and I've gone open a mask editor, and then I've just drawn my hole in the thing, click save, and that's how I've got that there. You can use other photo apps obviously to do your mask and that. 8 steps as normal, 1 on the CFG, so everything else is probably what you're used to, and then you get your image out of that. Next example I've got this woman here. Come over here and I've typed in, change the text to KFC, press run, and that's the image I've got. Another example here, just made a mask and said frog is the prompt, and that was my image that I got. In my last example here, I've just painted over the clothes there and writ wearing a red t-shirt and jeans, so very simple, and that's the result I got. So let's just have a look at that original, go into open mask editor, and I can clear the shot there, right, and we bring up our photo to compare them, and yeah, it's pretty much keeping everything the same. There's a slight light difference, bit of a yellow maybe, hard to tell. It's pretty good, but yeah, this is a good result. It's not all like this though. I've had a lot of hit and miss. Maybe it's working 20 to 30% of the time, hard to put a figure on it. It really is taking a lot of goes at it. I found the bigger ones are working more than the smaller masks that I do. There is, however, on Civet AI, I'll put a link to it. There's someone that's done a small workflow for small items using inpainting. So if you want to try that. In the Qwen image edit multi-image workflow, so if you've done my other video on Qwen image edit, this is just an extra image added. It's almost like just putting them in Photoshop and putting them next to each other. So there's no difference here. You won't have to download anything or change anything. It's just a better, easier way of dealing with this, right? So I've got that there, and prompt here is put the woman in the cartoon standing next to the line, remove the grey background so the cartoon is the background, extend the cartoon image so the background is all the cartoon. And that way I got that image there, which came out quite good. Next workflow is the one I showed at the start, so we'll just look at the prompt for that, which is make the woman hugging the clock character and the clock has its arms around her, remove the grey background and have the city background where the clock is at. It didn't really put its arms around her, but it still came out with a good result. In this workflow I wanted her to be holding the cat, so this is the prompt that I used. Make the woman holding the cat, remove the grey background and have the grass as the background. And that's the result I got. That's exactly what I wanted. But I wanted to try do something else with this and put multiple images in. So instead of trying to do that through a workflow, I just wanted something easy by using Photo P and putting another image in there so that I could get 3 images mashed together. And this is what I did. I've come up here and I've got this toaster with a tropical island in there that I've put on my photo, put a western photo in, so I'm doing something real random, put her in there. This is my prompt, make the woman holding up the toaster with the tropical island picture on it, remove the grey background and have the western town as the background. And that worked. I didn't think it was going to work, but it did. That came out really good. So in the other Controlnet's workflow, we can do this in 2 ways. This is for depth and canny. This is a canny version there. We go back to the website there where we got our inpaint model patches safe tensor, and we stored that in the model patches folder inside ComfyEye models. So you need to put those other 2 in there. That's one way of doing it. If you have bigger VRAM, you can go over here and just get the LoRa. The LoRa contains all 3, right? The Union Diff Sync LoRa, and put that in the LoRa's folder. So I'm covering both of them here, going back over here in the Canny version, right? So this one here, I've just got my image down the bottom. You can see my image processing using the Canny. If we wanted to do depth, we'll have to change that. If we wanted to do inpaint, we'll change that. But I've just got my prompt there, a 1980s cartoon van in a town in Europe, right? And that came out really good. That's real nice. And so how we do this with a LoRa, we just go over here and there's just a change up the top here. So we just have the LoRa instead. We've got Qwen Image Union Diff Sync and 1980s cartoon of a man standing in a street. We've got that guy there. Let's have a look at him. And we come over here and see what that output was. Really good. So yeah, you can do it either way using the Union LoRa. So here's my version using depth. So I've just come along, unplugged the Canny and just plugged in this depth node here. There's your preview image, and it still came out pretty good. The Canny's generally better for this sort of thing. When you're using the model patch loader, make sure that you have this one on depth. I left it on Canny and couldn't understand what was going on. Make sure that's on depth. And down here, I'll put this bit on here. I'll have these workflows for download. You can see this depth going there and look at the result of that. So I thought I'd try pose now, put in someone's pose, connect this DW pose detector up, and that's a great result from that. I'm not going to go into more detail on that. There's a website I'll leave the link to, and as you can see, supports line art, soft edge, normal, open pose, so you can have a look through here. The other cool thing, it mentions about chaining your LoRa's to get the effect that you want, but down here you've got easy cache and lazy cache, right? So this is something I haven't tried yet. I'm going to give it a go. Right, Qwen image edit. Can we get something we've already made and then repose them? So I've had a go at this, just getting a photo I've already made. I then went and got an image off the internet of someone posing, put it through the remove background, got the background out, made sure that she was small for a reason, so that when I go over to my prompt, I've written make the woman in the yellow pattern dress do the exact same pose, side profile as a small woman with her hand on her hips and her leg up. Remove all the small woman from the image and fix the background so the door and the white wall zoom out to see the whole body, right? So, and that's the result I got. So pretty good. It's not perfect, it's got the wrong leg up, but a little bit of working you could get this going. Tried this with the online version of Qwen Image Edit, and as you can see I did a real rough version and it came out pretty close. Kept the woman very consistent on her facial features. You can read my prompt down there and that'll give you an idea of how you can try and get posing out of Qwen Image Edit. Finally, Flux Kontext Pose, right? Upload your image and then upload your pose. This has got a LoRa here, so we're going to use our reference control pose safe tensor, and that comes from a website over here. I'll have the link in the comments. 344 megabyte. We come down here, everything else is mostly the same. I've put this DW pose detector in because the other pose wasn't working so well. You might want to go to Google, look for some poses. I found this one here that's got a few on it, but this will help you do whatever you want. You want to start a scene in a movie, you can get your poses already organized, and you might want to use a combination between this and either Flux Kontext or Qwen Edit to put two people in and change the poses of both of them and rearrange them. And so yeah, if you like what you see today, subscribe and we'll see you in the next video.